Okay, this is Sarah, also known as Quasi Thoughts. It has been like 9 or 10 months since I last posted a video, and I wanted to talk about these standard vinyl covers from Lauren Phelps. I have a significant number of notebooks here of various sizes that I have cut down to standard size. Weirdly, none of these are a whole yearstology. So just bear with me because I have a couple half yearstologies. I have a Midori MD. I have some Naname Cafe Notes. This is a Hobonichi Cousin. This is a Hipponoto Taroko shop in like used and unused condition. So let's talk about this. Some of my thoughts are, first of all, her vinyl covers are awesome. You get that 7 pocket, I think, configuration, which with his 4 pockets on this side, 3 card slots, and then the slip pocket, and then 3 in the back, 2 larger ones. I think this does a journal card. This one does her post-it notes, and then another slip pocket, right? So that's amazing. It comes in the clear one as well. And then they also have this design. I don't know if she plans on releasing more. I hope she does. This, as you can tell, this is sort of my bound book size of choice. So I have quite a few. I am very excited that she did this. Prior to her releasing these, I had been using an A5 one that I cut down and taped together. So let's just start, because I have some things that I want to show, and I feel like maybe notebooks cut to standard size, it's kind of like we're getting into B6 Slim territory, where, you know, just because it's cut to standard doesn't mean it's the same. So first, you know, her notebooks, her vinyl covers, they will fit on, man, the lighting for that's not so good. So it will fit on a half yearstology cut to standard size, or a Taroko shop cut to standard size. And here's a standard insert, Midori insert, right? So these are cut really close to standard size, right? Without real problem. Now, these have both not been used, so there's no chunk added to them yet. What does have, and I will say that the half year, if I can squeeze that in there, the half year does have some room. So there's definitely some room in it. I think it is designed to fit probably a cut down standard stology more than any others. This Taroko shop notebook, I think, is close to that size. It might be just slightly thicker, because if I remember correctly, when I first put this notebook in here, it kind of wanted to like sit open a little bit. It sort of settled and relaxed into it. But you can see that it kind of wants to stay open anyways. I don't know if that's the notebook or whatnot. But so it gets a little interesting if you don't cut. So I have a paper cutter, like a big industrial paper cutter that lets me cut these books down. I think it was like $100 to $150 on Amazon. Seriously, a great investment if you cut a lot of books down. It lets me really customize my bound books, because I have planner confusion, so I like to be difficult when it comes to bound books. But if you don't, let's say, cut your book to exactly standard size, so like my Hobonichi that I cut down is not going to show well. It's actually slightly wider. Like, I don't know if you can see this. So there's like, it's about, I believe, let's go to the back. I believe it is like one Hobonichi box. So I think these are 4mm boxes. It's one Hobonichi box wider than standard. When I cut it down, I did that on purpose so that my calendar months here would keep the week on this side. I'd have a little bit of space for washi, and then like my weeklies would give me a little bit of extra space on the edges for the calendar or the times. But I digress. I really like this. I've moved out of it. I think it lasted me it lasted me a good a good number of months. I want to say I actually started it close to January, maybe early January, and I probably lasted through the middle of August, so like 8 months. That's a decent run in a notebook for me. But like here, so there's two things. One, if you cut your notebook a little wider than standard, or your notebook is already a little thicker than a Stology, your Lauren Phelps cover is going to be too narrow. So if I were to line this up and try and flip it over, it's not going to fit in. I'm like, okay, we'll do an actual, let's get rid of that. We'll do an actual test, right? So if I slide this in here, as far as it will go, I'm not going to get the cover all the way around it. So that is one thing to consider, right? And I can kind of prove that out, I think easier. If you take a look at, this is the one I cut down, and I initially cut it down to go over the Hobonichi that I cut down as well. And you can see it's just a few millimeters wider, but apparently those millimeters matter. Now, I want to give Lauren credit because I feel like this is almost an impossible task, right? Because it's not a standard size book, right? At least not yet. There aren't bound books made in standard size other than maybe Sumkin. I think it's really hard to mass produce, or not mass produce, but to boutique produce something in a kind of niche market like planner vinyl covers is, that's going to fit all cases and scenarios. But I did want to let you know that, if you're going to buy one of these to fit a Stology or a Taroko shop, and you're not really going to fluff it up that much, like, and you're going to cut it to exactly Midori standard size, right? Or you're going to use a half year, or you're going to use like the Midori MD, and it's going to get a little bigger, then you're good. You should buy it. You should do it. It's going to work perfectly. If, however, you're going to make some sort of custom size that's close to standard, where like, this journal, I think I cut just a slight bit wide. I think it was one of the first ones I cut down. So like this is also not going to fit when I go to put this in here. So, I could try. Let's try it. Let's see if this will work. Or if you're gonna like really, really chunk, yeah, it's gonna not fit, right? Or I had another one that was like super chunky. I think this is cut wide, so I can't show on that. But if your books are gonna get like way wide here, and you are gonna cut it just to standard size, I think you might be okay, because I believe it still works on her B6 when they get chunky like that, as long as you don't cut the spine off. So like I cut my spines off because I'm, a rebel and disrespectful like that. But if you leave your spine together and it gets really fluffy, I think you'll be fine. Where you might run into problems is if you either have an abnormal width because you're cutting it to a custom width, or you're gonna have a bigger spine because you cut the spine off, or because you fluff it out a lot. I can show you, because of that like one little extra square that I cut this wide, it's not gonna fit on this either. So I think I can close it, but it's like I can tell that it's putting a lot of pressure on the spine, right? So if I were to continue to use this, which I'm not planning to, it served its purpose in life. I've moved on to something else. It would just make this little bow worse. On the whole, I cannot recommend Lauren Phelps products enough. I love her shop. I love her vinyl covers. I think they are the best option out there. She did send me this one as like Happy Mail. I bought the other two with my own money. I bought this A5 with my own money and then did surgery on it. I just cut it I just cut it and then overlapped them and packing taped it together, and then like kept it so my pocket still was a pocket. I think Mod Plans did something like this, or has something like this that you can find on Instagram. So that's where I'm at. This is my custom Nomad. I can fit this in here. I didn't have it heightened, so you can see how I've kind of stretched out the back pocket a little bit. If you wanted to use a cover on cover on this notebook, as you can see, this is going to be a struggle to get in there. I would definitely recommend heightening it. It is doable, but now I'm putting pressure on the seams and the leather. So all things are possible. Go forth. Love your planning. I'll talk to you later.